It is a freezing February morning in 1951. Thick coal smoke hangs over the Yorkshire mining village of Armthorpe. Rows of brick houses disappear into the grey mist as miners pedal towards the pit before sunrise. The air smells of damp earth, burning coal and engine oil. It is hard work, honest work, and life here revolves around the mine. Inside a modest house, a baby cries for the first time. His name is Keegan. Nobody knows it yet, but this small boy from a working-class family will grow into one of the most exciting footballers England has ever produced. Kevin grows up in a world where money is tight and opportunities are rare. His father works long hours in the local colliery, while football offers children their greatest escape. Every spare moment is spent outside. The streets become football pitches, garden walls become goal posts. His younger brother's pushchair even serves as a goal. The game is everywhere. Kevin is small compared to many of the boys he plays against, but he refuses to be intimidated. If someone is bigger, he runs harder. If someone is stronger, he competes even longer. Losing is never an option in his mind. At school, he enjoys sport more than almost anything else. He boxes at the local club, runs cross-country races, and captains the cricket team. Friends quickly notice that whatever the sport, Kevin never seems to tire. His determination becomes his greatest weapon. By the age of 15, reality arrives. School ends, and Kevin takes a job as an office clerk at Pegler Brass Works. Much of his day is spent making tea, delivering messages, and completing small jobs around the factory. It is hardly glamorous, but every weekend he pulls on his football boots and dreams of something bigger. Not every dream comes easily. Trials with professional clubs end in disappointment. Coventry City decide not to sign him. An opportunity with Doncaster Rovers slips away because of a misunderstanding about the trial time. Many young players would give up after so many setbacks. Kevin never considers quitting. Instead, he keeps playing wherever he can. One Sunday morning, while representing the Lonsdale Hotel team, his relentless energy catches the eye of an opposing defender named Bob Nellis. After the match, Nellis offers him something priceless, a trial at Scunthorpe United. It is the chance Kevin has been waiting for. Scunthorpe are hardly one of England's glamorous clubs. The facilities are basic. The players sometimes train on rugby pitches because proper football pitches are unavailable. Young players even take turns driving the team minibus to away matches. Money is always short. Kevin loves every minute of it. His coaches soon realise they have discovered someone unusual. He attacks every training session as though it is a cup final. He sprints every running drill at full speed. Coach Jack Brownsord gives him a description that will follow him throughout his career. 100%. The words fit perfectly. Kevin makes his first team debut at just 17 years old. Supporters quickly fall in love with his endless running, fearless attitude, and refusal to stop chasing the ball. Although Scunthorpe play in England's 4th division, bigger clubs begin paying attention. Among them is Liverpool. Their legendary manager, Bill Shankly, trusts his brilliant chief scout, Jeff Twentyman. After watching Kevin, Twentyman delivers a simple message: sign him. In the summer of 1971, Scunthorpe reluctantly accept Liverpool's offer. Kevin travels to Liverpool with mixed emotions. He is excited, nervous, and determined not to undersell himself during contract negotiations. Even Bill Shankly smiles as the young midfielder confidently asks for a little more money than first offered. The deal is agreed. As Kevin walks through the gates of Anfield for the first time, he hears the distant sounds of supporters preparing for another season. The famous stadium rises above him like a cathedral of football. Everything he has worked for has brought him here. His greatest adventure is about to begin. It is a Saturday afternoon at Anfield in the early 1970s. Thousands of red scarves sway above the crowd as a single song fills the stadium. You'll Never Walk Alone rises into the cold Liverpool air. The roar rolls around the famous old ground before crashing down onto the pitch. Kevin Keegan walks out of the tunnel, his heart pounding. He has dreamed of moments like this ever since kicking a ball through the streets of Armthorpe. Liverpool manager Bill Shankly quickly spots something special in his young signing. Kevin arrives as a midfielder, but Shankly sees a striker hiding inside him. He pairs the energetic youngster with the towering Welsh forward John Torshak. The combination is perfect. Torshak wins the headers. Keegan races onto every flick-on with fearless determination. Liverpool become one of the greatest teams in Europe. Week after week, Kevin throws himself into every challenge. He chases lost causes, dives for headers against much taller defenders, and never stops running. Supporters adore his passion. His teammates feed off his endless energy. Soon, Liverpool are lifting trophy after trophy. League championships follow. The FA Cup arrives. Then, in 1977, Liverpool reach the European Cup final in Rome. Kevin knows it will be his final match for the club. Late in the game, he bursts into the penalty area and is brought down. Liverpool score from the resulting penalty and become champions of Europe for the first time. Kevin leaves Anfield as a legend. Many supporters cannot believe he is going. His next destination surprises almost everyone. Instead of staying in England, Kevin chooses Germany. Hamburger SV pay a British record transfer fee to bring him to the Bundesliga. It is a huge gamble. He does not speak the language. He barely knows the culture. Even simple tasks like buying groceries become frustrating adventures. He misses home, misses familiar food, and struggles to fit in with his new teammates. For the first time in his career, football does not come easily. Instead of giving up, Kevin does what he has always done. He works harder, he studies German every day until he can speak confidently with his teammates. Slowly the dressing room begins to accept him. The supporters fall in love with his determination, just as Liverpool's fans had done before them. His performances become extraordinary. Hamburg climbed to the top of German football, winning the Bundesliga title. Across Europe, journalists recognise what they are watching. In 1978, Kevin wins the Ballon d'Or, awarded to the best footballer in Europe. 1 year later, he wins it again. Only a handful of players in history achieve back-to-back victories. The little boy from the Yorkshire pit village now stands at the very top of world football. After 3 remarkable seasons in Germany, Kevin returns to England with Southampton. Many believe his best days are behind him. They are wrong. He produces some of the finest football of his career, scoring goals almost every week and inspiring Southampton to challenge near the top of the First Division. Once again, he is voted one of England's finest players. Then comes one final surprise. In 1982, Kevin signs for Newcastle United. It is more than just another transfer. His father grew up supporting Newcastle, telling stories about the club's great heroes when Kevin was just a boy. Although his father never lives to see the moment, Kevin finally pulls on the famous black and white stripes. Walking onto the pitch at St James's Park feels less like joining a football club and more like coming home. The city falls in love with him immediately. On his home debut, he scores before diving into the sea of celebrating supporters. It is a moment that becomes part of Newcastle folklore. Every touch of the ball is greeted with thunderous cheers. Every sprint inspires belief that better days are ahead. Kevin helps Newcastle win promotion back to the First Division, but time eventually catches every footballer. During an FA Cup match at Anfield, he suddenly realises something has changed. A defender catches him from behind during a sprint that he would once have won with ease. In that instant, he understands his greatest weapon. His pace is beginning to disappear. He makes a difficult decision. At just 33 years old, Kevin Keegan announces his retirement from professional football. His farewell at St James's Park is unforgettable. As thousands of supporters rise to applaud A helicopter lands on the pitch. Still wearing his Newcastle kit, Kevin climbs aboard. The aircraft slowly lifts into the sky while the crowd continues to cheer. One extraordinary playing career has reached its final whistle. Few people realise that an even greater adventure is still waiting for him. It is a cold February afternoon in 1992. Grey clouds hang over St James's Park. The famous stadium is full, but there is little joy among the supporters. Newcastle United, one of England's proudest clubs, are sliding towards the third tier of English football for the first time in their history. Fear hangs over the city like the winter mist. Then the gates open. Kevin Keegan walks back into St James's Park. The roar is deafening. The supporters are not simply welcoming a new manager. They are welcoming home a hero. Kevin has not managed a professional football club before, but he understands something far more important than tactics. He understands Newcastle. He knows what football means to the city. He knows that the supporters want a team that fights, attacks, and never gives up. He immediately changes the atmosphere around the club. The training ground comes alive. Confidence slowly returns. The players begin believing in themselves again. Newcastle climb away from danger, avoiding relegation and giving the city hope for the first time in years. The following season is unforgettable. Newcastle race to the First Division title and earn promotion to the newly formed Premier League. St James's Park becomes one of the loudest stadiums in England. Every home match feels like a celebration. Kevin has not only rebuilt a football team, he has restored the pride of an entire city. Promotion is only the beginning. Kevin believes football should entertain. He wants supporters to leave the stadium smiling, even if it means taking risks. His Newcastle side attacks with fearless energy. Goals pour in from every direction. Exciting new signings arrive one after another. Peter Beardsley returns. David Ginola dazzles defenders with his skill. Les Ferdinand scores for fun. Later, Alan Shearer, the local hero, comes home in a world record transfer. The media give the team a fitting nickname, the Entertainers. During the 1995-96 season, Newcastle seem unstoppable. Week after week they sit proudly at the top of the Premier League. At one stage they hold a 12-point lead over Manchester United. The city begins to dream of winning its first league title since 1927. But football can be cruel. Manchester United slowly close the gap. Every match becomes more intense. Every mistake feels heavier than the last. Then comes one of the greatest games in Premier League history. It is a spring evening at Anfield. Liverpool and Newcastle produce 90 minutes of breathtaking football. The lead changes hands. The pace never slows. The noise inside the stadium is relentless. Deep into injury time, Liverpool score the winning goal. Kevin leans forward against the advertising boards, exhausted. The image becomes one of the most famous photographs in football history. Days later, the pressure continues to build. After another victory, television cameras surround Kevin for a live interview. He has heard enough about Manchester United manager Sir Alex Ferguson and suggestions that other clubs are making life easy for United. His emotions finally spill over. "I would love it if we beat them. Love it." The words instantly become football history. Millions of supporters remember the interview for decades. It captures everything about Kevin. His passion, honesty, and refusal to hide his emotions. Despite their remarkable season, Newcastle finished second. The title slips away. It remains one of English football's greatest stories of what might have been. Soon afterwards, Kevin decides his time at Newcastle has come to an end. He walks away knowing he has transformed the club forever. Although the championship never arrives, he gives Newcastle back its identity. Supporters still speak of the Entertainers with enormous affection. His next challenge is even bigger. England call. Managing the national team is every English coach's dream, but the pressure is immense. Every decision is debated. Every result dominates the headlines. Kevin guides England to Euro 2000, but the tournament ends in disappointment. A defeat to Germany at the old Wembley Stadium soon follows, and he resigns. It is a painful ending. Football, however, refuses to let him disappear for long. Manchester City appoint him as manager, and once again, Kevin works his magic. He wins promotion at the first attempt and restores belief at another famous club. Later, Newcastle ask him to return once more. The supporters celebrate wildly, hoping history will repeat itself. This time it is different. Disagreements with the club's owners quickly grow. Kevin believes a manager should choose which players join the team. The board disagrees. Before long, he resigns. Years later, an independent tribunal rules that he has been treated unfairly. The decision clears his name. Kevin quietly steps away from football. For the first time since he is a young boy, chasing a ball through the streets of Yorkshire, the game is no longer the centre of his life. It is Jan 2026. A hospital corridor is quiet except for the soft hum of medical machines. The sharp smell of disinfectant fills the air. Outside, life continues as normal, but inside the room everything changes. Doctors deliver devastating news. Kevin Keegan has stomach cancer. The announcement shocks the football world. Messages of support arrive from every corner of England and beyond. Liverpool supporters, Newcastle fans, former teammates and old rivals all send their best wishes. For decades, Kevin has brought joy to millions. Now those same people hope for one more miracle. Kevin faces the illness with the same determination that has defined his entire life. He has never been the biggest footballer. He has never relied on natural size or strength. Instead, he has always fought harder than everyone else. It is the attitude that carries him from a Yorkshire mining village to the very top of European football. By June, the news becomes even more heartbreaking. The cancer has reached stage 4. Football supporters know what that usually means, but they refuse to stop believing. Across social media and inside football stadiums, fans remember the moments that made Kevin special. Liverpool supporters recall the fearless forward who helps deliver their first European Cup. Hamburg supporters remember the Englishman who conquers Germany and wins back-to-back Ballon d'Or awards. Southampton fans remember the goals that almost carry their club to an unlikely league title. In Newcastle, however, the memories run even deeper. Supporters remember the player who dives into the crowd after scoring on his home debut. They remember the manager who rescues the club from disaster and transforms it into one of the most exciting teams England has ever seen. They remember the entertainers. They remember the passion, the honesty, and the unforgettable declaration, "I'd love it if we beat them." It becomes more than a famous quote. It becomes Kevin Keegan in a single sentence. Passionate, emotional, completely authentic. On July the 20th, 2026, Kevin Keegan dies at the age of 75. Within minutes, tributes begin pouring in. Newcastle United describe him as one of the most loved figures in the club's history, the beating heart of Newcastle United. Liverpool honour the man whose courage and determination helped shape one of the greatest teams in their history. Manchester City thank him for leading the club back into the Premier League. The Football Association remembers a captain, a manager, and one of England's finest footballers. Alan Shearer pays a simple tribute that says everything. My hero, my manager, my friend. Even people who never see Kevin play understand why he matters. He represents an era when football is played with emotion worn proudly on its sleeve. He attacks without fear. He speaks honestly. He wins with style and loses with dignity. His story begins among the coal mines of Yorkshire. It carries him to Anfield, Hamburg, Southampton, Newcastle, Wembley and beyond. He wins trophies. He wins individual honours. Most importantly, he wins hearts. The little boy who once chases a football through the streets of a Yorkshire mining village becomes one of the game's greatest heroes. The final whistle has blown.